What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I think it's been about a month since my last upload at the drift event at Nedco, but today what we're going to be doing is working on the emergency brake on my Daily Z. My emergency brake has been pretty much shot for a while now. It's got to at least be a year. So I've been kind of dreading it because I'm like, oh, I got to take everything off, this and that. But basically, this is gonna be another how-to on just how to replace your e-brake pads and how to properly set everything up. So right now, I'm gonna get all my tools out of here, set up a canopy, and then just get into it with you guys. All right, guys. So now that I have the car actually raised up in the air, properly set on jack stands with the jack supporting, before you get into anything else, before you take your wheels off, what you want to do is go inside the car and you're going to start working with your handbrake here. So as you guys can see, like, there's no grip, there's no grab, there's nothing. So what I'm going to do is undo the boot here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to find the adjustment screw. So the adjustment screw on the Z's are right here. Mostly all of them are right there, like in the front and whatnot. It's a 10mm bolt. The goal is to loosen up that bolt as far as you possibly can, but don't let the bolt come off the top. Because what we're going to do after we get the brake set and everything with the adjuster, then we'll actually tighten with this to make sure that it's going to work right. So right now I'm going to grab my 10mm and start loosening up this bolt. Okay, guys, so I basically got my bolt to the top. I have about, like, I'd say like this much of the actual bolt through the top of the nut. So like I said, it totally depends on how you want to do it, but typically that's where I'd like to go, because I don't want to go too much, because if I really wanted to do this like correctly and if I had plenty of time, you'd actually want to take this off so you can see everything. But for right now, I'm just like feeling where the threads are. And like I said, there's a good amount, so there's plenty of space for adjustment. So this is just the easier way. But going off of there, now this is where we want. So make sure that that's down. That's where it's set where we want as of right now. Now we're going to go to the rear. And what we're going to want to do is actually take off your caliper here. So you're going to want to take off calipers on both sides. And then we'll start into talking about taking the rotor off and then going in from there. So my parts order list, I got this kit off of Amazon for pretty cheap. This is all like the actual like brake parts kit. And then these are the pads. I got the pads from Z-Bruhz actually. So, but yeah, this is basically all you're gonna need are these pads and these pieces. So now after you remove your caliper, okay, it's two 17mm bolts. So once you remove that, as long as you don't have the parking brake on, which it shouldn't be on, you should be able to slip your rotor right off. And as you can see, this side literally doesn't have a pad. This side's got a pad. This side does not have a pad. So yeah, it was definitely time. Okay guys, so I fully disassembled everything here. So basically, I set everything up here to make it seem of like how you guys need to know how to put it back together, right? So it's pretty simple. These right here for your new hardware are gonna go in to these holes here. Okay? These guys, this guy here, what you're gonna wanna make sure that what you do is you put the spring on this side. So if we're looking at the right side of the car, the passenger side of the car on a left-hand drive, you want to make sure the spring is facing forward, and this is going to mock up right here. And then this piece will mock up right in here also. So that's how that would mock up. And then your adjuster sits down here like this. What you want to make sure is that this piece, the little head piece, is towards the back of the car. So the little slip-in head is on the back of the car. And then these are pretty simple. These actually hook up to here up top on your captain's hat. That's what I call it because it looks like a pirate's captain's hat. But this piece, so they have two kind of different ends, right? Oh, this is the wrong one. So as you can see, these have two different ends. This end wraps around the captain's head. This end goes in right here. Okay, so that's how that one mocks up. And now this one mocks up, same thing. This, the longer end, goes around the captain's head, and then this end here goes into here. So it would hang like that. And then this one would hang like that. And then this last one, this like little guy, it's pretty like even distributed, just like the round heads are opposite ways. That just goes here on the bottom, and then it connects to these two. So you'd put the adjuster there first, and then you'd set this spring like that. And then you're good to go. So we're gonna get into it right now. Alrighty, so got our new Centric pads here, taking them out of the plastic. So the two arms, or the two pads that actually come with the arms, where you're gonna hook up your arm, is right here. So this one is gonna go on the passenger side on the back, because the arm is gonna hook up here on your old ones. So we're gonna take this arm off. So this is the arm that actually gets pulled by the cable to use the e-brake. So we got to take this little horseshoe lock off and swap the arm to the new pad. So once you get the old horseshoe lock off, as you can see, you're going to have your new one in your new kit right here. And then as you can tell, when you take your lever off the arm here, there's a little washer. It's kind of like a bent washer. It looks like it's supposed to be bent. So in your new kit, you're going to want to match that up too. So match those two up, and then we're going to take our lever off. So there's our lever. So as I took it off, it was like this. So now with my new pad, all I'm going to do is vice versa, slide it back on. Got it like that. Gonna put our kind of crushed looking washer. So you want to put the concave part downward, and then we're gonna put our horseshoe above that. So as you can see, I have my horseshoe clip here with the washer under it, and that's not going anywhere. So now the next step would be getting the actual brake line cable into this slot. So this part's a little bit tricky because you have to pull a spring back, and then you have to slide the piece in, and then it should snap in. A lot of trucks that I've done this on, it's kind of tough because the spring's really, really tough. On the Z, it kind of seemed a little bit easier, but so that's the next step, what we're going to do right now. So your e-brake cable, if you can see, is right here. So, and this is the spring I'm talking about. So you might want to use like a pair of pliers or something just to pull it back just enough, because all you need is probably like the littlest bit amount to fit right through here. So that's the next step. So now, since we actually have the lever arm attached to the e-brake cable, we're going to need to set up our retaining clips. So our retaining clip is this. It actually consists of three pieces. So a spring, a rod, and then like a locking washer kind of thing. So here we have our brand new rod, our locking washer, and then our spring. So now the reason why I'm doing this is that it's just going to help keep this in place while we're trying to basically put everything back together. So as you can see, the pad's going to rest on this cylinder here, and it's going to be behind the captain's hat. So the captain's hat, like I expressed before, this is our captain's hat. It's going to be behind the captain's hat. So as you can see, got it in. It's the screw's sitting vertically here, but it's actually horizontally on the back, so it's locked in. So that just keeps it from moving. So now it's going to be a little bit easier to set up everything else. So now what we're going to do is set up our other side of the pad. And basically the best way to do this now is going to start by using our adjustment screws. So these guys here. And then also the same sided ambidextrous spring, so the orange spring in the kit. And then again, we're also going to need one of our locking rods here, retaining clips here, to hold this pad in also. So the reason why I'm not using my retaining clip as of yet for this pad is just due to the fact that we need to set up this spring on this pad and connect it to the other pad with the lever arm, and then also set up our new adjuster. So to set up your adjuster, if you go off the old one, you can see that the threaded part, so this part here, goes on the shorter end of the actual part that you would adjust with. So you can see there's a shorter part and a longer part. And again, the threaded part is going to go in the shorter part, like that, and then our little slide head is going to go in the longer part, like that. Okay, so now this is good. This is probably going to be the most difficult part. So now I think the best bet would be is to put a retaining clip in. So that's in, the adjuster's in. So I'll show you how the adjuster sits. So that's how the adjuster sits. So now anytime that we spin this, it's going to adjust it. But now we have to put all of our springs in to put the tension, basically that, so it forces the pads to expand out. So the first spring I'm going to do is our orange one, infamous orange one. So what I'm going to try to do is just hook it in one way. So I'm going to hook this way in from the back. Sorry guys, I'm all over the place here, but I'm going to try to hook this in from the back, so then I'll be able to grab it from the front, like with pliers, to pull it. It'll probably be the easiest bet. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So as you can see, orange spring, adjusters all set, retaining clips are in. So now we're going to take our piece here, like our bridge piece, with our new blue spring. So it's pretty easy because, I mean, they are color coded in the new kit, but it's just, I mean, easy just due to the fact that they look the same, you know what I mean? So that's on. So then we're basically gonna put that right here behind the hub here, so in like that. Okay, so now that one's on. So now all we have to do is finish up with our captain's hat. So always make sure the thicker side's up top. It's gonna fit on just like that. And then we need to use our green springs. And again, the green springs, this part is gonna be hooking up to the captain's hat, and this part will be going actually onto the pad. Okay, so captain's hat's on there. Everything's on there. Pretty good. So now what we're gonna have to do, okay, is you're gonna have to do this for both sides, but what you're gonna wanna do is put your actual rotor on. Okay. Like so. Then you're gonna wanna grab a couple lug nuts just to make sure that this is on here snuggish. So the goal is, when you're doing this, when you're spinning this, you want to be able to hear, like, you want it to have just, like, not too much friction, but you want just the littlest bit amount. So right now, I don't got anything. So how we're going to adjust that is this. So now for adjustment, right? So when we turn this, we want to hear just, we want it to basically be touching but not touching. It's a very, like, very limited. So when we actually adjust the handbrake lever, it'll be a lot, like, easier to do. So this is how you adjust it. This little hole right here is where you're going to want to line up your adjuster. So it's like this little rubber boot. You take that out, and then you can actually use a flathead screwdriver and adjust the brakes. I'm putting a downward force, so it's going up. So when I do that, that actually is expanding the pads when you're going up. So now you can kind of hear it. Check everything out, make sure everything's all good. Everything's still lined up, everything's still in place. Perfect. So we're good to go. So that's this side done. So now all you got to do is basically just reverse your steps. So now we're going to go and just reverse the steps here. So again, we're going to have to take all this off. It's pretty simple, pretty easy, pretty fast. All right, guys, so I went on a trip back to my mom's house to say what's up, say hi to everybody, and the e-brake works great. So super pumped. After I got the driver's side done, it's basically, like I said, just resetting your steps or re-following your steps from the first side that you do. And the second one goes by pretty fast once you get the hang of it. So I think this one took me 5 minutes. That one took me about an hour, hour and a half. So, but yeah, it works great. Everything is awesome. Like I said, it's right now I don't have it on, but like it's super tough to pull now. So again, when you have everything set up, basically what you're gonna do is go into the car, and after you have adjusted your rotors so like you can barely hear the pads touching, then like I said, you're just gonna go in there and tighten that 10mm screw up. So you're gonna basically put the arm up and then tighten that screw down until what you see fit, put it down, and then you can like start your car, put it up and try to see if it moves. And if it moves, then obviously you have to tighten that a little bit more, and so on and so on. I think it took me like 4 times to tighten that to where I want it to be. But now if I have that up, the car doesn't move at all. So I can finally pass inspection in mass, because mass inspection is absolutely insane. With that being said, guys, hopefully this video helped you guys out installing your Z32 e-brake pads and hardware kit. So going on from there, if you guys are looking for any additional content, hit one of these links right here. And if you guys haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. In the meantime, I'll catch you guys out on the next one, and hopefully we'll be drifting soon. Peace.